they probably thinking that they try to help me out for nothing. You know?
We've been doing a year and a half of work with him, and we've seen the progress. You know, we've seen the change, we've seen the transformation, and just to see him, you know, make you know, I don't know if he actually was the person who took the weapon to school or not, but you know, he got arrested for it, and it was very, very disappointing.
As I just felt so discouraged, so disappointed, you know, not in him, but just like everything that we were working with him on, like it kind of just like fell. I feel like he was making such an improvement, and sometimes things like this happen, you know, I don't know why it happened to him, but you know what, when things are going so good, sometimes we forget that, I forgot that he has to go back to this lifestyle. So he called me Thursday afternoon and he told me, I think they're trying to give me a fitness hearing.
In the 80s, early 90s, there was a spike in crime in all states, United States, began to implement and pass laws that either waive youth to a court, transfer them, have direct trial, which means prosecutorial decision. And so the number of people entering the adult system increased. And it's supposedly used for some of the, you know, worst crimes, felony level assault, attempted murder, rape.
Most of the youth being tried as adults have been charged with violent crimes, but not all.
The party line of, oh, this is used for exceptional cases, doesn't translate to the stories that I'm hearing about how many young people had to fight their fitness, you know, or who were tried as an adult.
The similarities amongst the kids who are being tried as adults are, most of them are from, you know, lower socioeconomic status. They live in neighborhoods where there's a lot of gang activity, a lot of, you know, kind of survival on the streets.
He was robbed so much of his life because of this lifestyle that, yes, he did choose, but I think he was so robbed of his childhood that I don't think he's a child or an adult yet. You know, I don't think he was given a chance to be either or.
I think it's really important for us to remember that a lot of these kids are kids. Some of them know what they're doing, and I don't think that they should not be punished for the things that they're doing, but I think the severity of the punishments are too much. I see kids who are getting 15 years, 20 years, 50 years for crimes way lesser than adults. So I guess people need to know that we have a lot of opinions about the kids. Oh, lock them up. Oh, they're gang members. Or they're dangerous to society. But yes, let's punish them, but do they need to be punished this severely is the question.
Nevertheless, you know, he's just a youth. He's not an adult. You know, his level of comprehension is not as an adult. So he's kind of just learning how to be a kid. And for him to kind of be placed in a position where now he has to think like an adult. I mean, he hasn't even completed being a youth, and now he's going to have to figure out how to be an adult.
Quisiera que el juez tuviera misericordia de él y tratara de ayudarlo lo más que se pueda, porque el juez lo que ha visto que él es muy inteligente, es todo, pero este niño es inteligente, pero a la misma vez tiene mente de niño, o sea, no piensa las cosas como un adulto. En realidad a mí sí me duele mucho que él esté allá. Me duele, yo creo que yo quisiera decirle a todos como los padres que tienen sus hijos todavía en su casa que tengan mucho cuidado con ellos, que los aconsejen y todo, porque tal vez yo y mi esposo no teníamos la capacidad ni ese pensamiento que algún día íbamos a pasar con un hijo, esas cosas que se están pasando ahorita. Y yo no quisiera que ninguna otra madre pasara lo mismo que nosotros estamos pasando. Que apoyen a sus hijos en lo que más se pueda, que les den muchos consejos, que les hablen de lo que son las pandillas, de lo que es la vida estar en la cárcel, que les hablen antes de que ellos caigan en eso, porque eso no es vida. Eso es como estar muerto, no en vida, tanto como toda la familia como el que está preso. Entonces, eso es muy feo. Y no se lo deseo a nadie, ni a mi más enemigo te lo deseo.
Una palabra no dice nada y al mismo tiempo lo esconde todo, igual que el viento que esconde el agua, como las flores que esconden el lodo. Una mirada no dice nada y al mismo tiempo lo dice todo, como la lluvia sobre tu cara o el viejo mapa de algún tesoro, como la lluvia sobre tu cara o el viejo mapa de algún tesoro. Una verdad no dice nada y al mismo tiempo lo esconde todo, como una hoguera que no se apaga, como una piedra que nace polvo.